Good afternoon here from Tel Aviv, Israel. Welcome, folks, to the FIBA Women's EuroBasket Game Day 2 Group B battle between Israel and Italy. Well, Israel fans a little shell-shocked after last night's heavy defeat to Belgium, but you could say the same thing about Italy, who led by 14 points against the Czech Republic, but also ended up losing that game right at the end. These two teams in desperate need of a win earlier today. Belgium underlining their status as perhaps the team to beat in this competition, rolling to a big win over the Czech Republic. And now it's time for this one. You can see that Belgium up at the top, followed by the Czech Republic at 1-1. Which of these teams is going to join the Czechs with a 1-1 record? I'm Jeff Taylor, joined once again by Mark Mills. And it's kind of do or die time for these two teams, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be everything on the line today, and both teams will be slightly disappointed by their performances in game day one. I think from Israel's perspective, they probably didn't go into their game expecting to come away with the win, but that level of defeat for them may have been a bit of a wake-up call for Italy, maybe slightly more frustrated because they would have hoped to come away with the win and potentially went into that game actually as favourites, particularly with some of the injury issues that the Czech Republic team have had.
So Italy have to get up off the canvas, dust themselves off, and get ready mentally, just like Israel. But that is the nature of tournament play. And you want to start with a win always. It's not ruinous if you don't win that opening game. But I don't know how many people gave Israel a chance against Belgium, but it was just the manner of the defeat. Against Italy and against the Czech Republic, well, you would think they'd have a much better chance. But then again, we were impressed by Italy yesterday. The only thing they couldn't do was put the ball in the basket. Their coach put them in great, or their offense put them in great spots. They just didn't make shots.
Yeah, absolutely. 58 points is not enough to win many games at this level. In fact, they were the second lowest scoring team in the whole of EuroBasket on opening day. That's not where they want to be. One of the keys again for me, they didn't get to the free throw line enough as well. They only had 7 free throws in the entire game. That shows they're not being aggressive on the offensive end. They're not trying to dictate and take the game to their opponents. I expect a very different mentality from the Italian team today.
Well, it's just a shrug of the shoulders and a roll of the eyes from Leonardo Lardo. He just took it in his stride. He's been in this business a very long time and fully understands that in a game you're going to have a winner and you're going to have a loser and you're going to have disappointments, and you know that's part of sports. You got to get over those defeats and come back strong. And today, if they are supposedly superior against Israel, where they lack is definitely this crowd, which has really been supportive of Israel even yesterday, and then heavy to beat to Belgium.
Yeah, and you have to give Israel a lot of credit. As much as it was a huge defeat to Belgium, there were some bright points in that game. They shot 46% from outside, 88% from the free throw line. So reasonably efficient scoring. The issue they had was they really didn't get to the basket. They didn't get inside, they didn't do any damage in the front court, and they'll need to do that again today. They had too many turnovers in that game, 22 in total. They'll need to look after their possession much better. But with the crowd like they have today, they'll be cheering them on and trying to lead them to the victory that they need.
Israel and Italy are now on court. Final players of Israel come out. And one of the social initiatives of this Israeli team is to involve, obviously, the community. And so they have come out and they have brought some people out that have some of their own challenges to join them on mid-court and said, let's do this together. And they're going to square off against Italy, Sharon Drucker and his team. But we're going to have a pause for the playing of the national anthems. Okay, just a few minutes away from the start of the game is Sharon Drucker and Lena Lardo shake hands and the players meet at midcourt. And we're going to look at the referees for today's game. Lining up at midcourt behind the game ball. Viola Georgi from Romania, Karen Baki from Turkey, and Sinem Tetik from Turkey as well. And why don't we look at these lineups as well, the starting fives for Italy.
Plenty of talent for Coach Lardo to select his starting five from. Five will go with today: Keys, Zanalacini, Santucci, Andre, and Fico. A strong five. He'll expect more, though, I think, from his starting five today than maybe he got throughout the last game. But in particular, many highlights and people focusing in on Cecilia Zanalacini, and rightfully so. She had a pretty good opening game, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, but the stat that got me was 0 from 4 from outside. That's not what you expect from Zanalacini. Expect much more impact from the perimeter from her. For me, the big thing for Coach Lardo is he probably needs to try and restrict the amount of energy Zanalacini exerts on the defensive end. She was playing a lot of defense in that opening game. You want to try and keep her away from that so she can put her energy into offense.
We also saw the very impressive Vilas coming off the bench, the point guard, the 18-year-old. One of the bright spots yesterday for Italy. Not so much from a scoring standpoint, but everything else. And for Israel?
Yeah, so Baron Cohen, Galzon, Rabel, and Sims, the starting five. And a lot of rotation from Coach Drucker in that opening game. Expect to see plenty of players rotating in off the bench. He doesn't look to lean too heavily on a particular five, but a player that did step up in that first game was Yarden Galzon, 13.6 rebounds, 3 from 4 from outside against Belgium. That's a great opening game, and she'll take a lot of confidence from that. Just 21 years of age, but being asked to take maybe more of a leadership role than a 21-year-old usually would at this level of basketball.
College basketball at Indiana. There is Drucker. Let's listen in.
Swing. And then it's another girl, Jenny, at the end, 1 and 5, pick and roll. Hey, if we have the girl, good, we're gonna allow. If not, it's high pick and roll. Hey, let's fight defensively.
So it's been a great FIBA Women's EuroBasket as the teams come out. A lot of unpredictability. Italy won the last 2 games against Israel in the FIBA Women's EuroBasket.
Quite a long time ago, though, 2009 and 1991, so I'm not sure we'll take too much from those stats. But that's the big one for me. Israel, 23 turnovers in that first game. They can't afford that level of complacency on their possession.
That one has a little bit more relevance, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, and that's something I'm sure that Coach Drucker has been talking to his team about, you know, and working out how do they protect that possession, how are they much more focused offensively.
Earlier today here in Tel Aviv, Belgium winning big over the Czech Republic, 84-51, and Turkey won a thriller over Hungary and Ljubljana, the first game there today, 69-68. So while Israel were on the receiving end of a blowout loss, most of the games have been really competitive and some very close ones that have gone right down to the end.
And some real surprises across both here in Tel Aviv and in Ljubljana in Slovenia. You know, outside of Belgium, I don't think there's any team that's really playing to what their true expectations were. And even Belgium, I think they're exceeding expectations.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're underway from the Tel Aviv Arena. The FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2023 game day 2 battle between Israel in the white and Italy in the blue.
Interesting to see straight away Israel trying to get into the paint for their offense rather than relying on the three-point game as they did against Belgium.
Xander Lucini. Here comes Sims. Rebounds and runs. Cohen had it deep, brings it back outside. Garden gets it back and goes off his dirty hands.
Be interesting to see if Yarden Galzon can replicate that opening game performance. She certainly had a great first game in EuroBasket Women's for her. But I imagine to see the ball in Sims' hands an awful lot more than we saw in game one.
Cohen dribbled, and that was going to be problems. Briafico for Italy. Shot it well in the first half yesterday, not so much in the second. And there is the force, Obis Andre, getting down low and scoring.
Yeah, one of those players that just gets the jobs done. 10 points in the opening game, and they're no glamorous points. They're just some of the rubbish points that you grab off the board, but she does it so well for Italy.
Nice passing from Italy. Santucci for three.
That offense just made by some really good spacing from Italy, making it tough to defend.
And Sims, guarded closely by Zandalicini, almost turns it over. And fortunate that she did not. Barron, meanwhile, drives against Santucci, puts it up and earns the trip to the line.
And I like this from Israel. It's a lot more direct. It's a lot more aggressive. They're trying to get to the basket. They're trying to make things happen. Here's the offense at the other end, wide open. Santucci for three. And at this level, you can't give anyone, let alone a player like Santucci, that kind of space. Last points of the tournament for Santucci, though, with that three.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why he wanted her in, but also possibly looking at the bigger picture, he knows he needs to have a deep squad, confident squad. Didn't play quite as many minutes yesterday, so get her in.
And I think this is, you know, one of the advantages as we see a 2-2-1 press here from Israel. I like that. That's really aggressive, and it's paid off straight away.
Robert drives and misses, and there is Garzon cleaning up the mess.
That's great from Israel. They're taking it to Italy by playing that press so early in the game.
Well, one of the keys to success for Italy is Jasmine Keys dumping it down low to the big center.
And Cohen can't afford to front Andre. I'm not sure if that was part of the scouting report, part of the plan. If you're going to front Andre, she's going to have to back her down under the basket. She can't front her that far away.
So Obis Andre does not get the three-point play. And now the steal, Keys, and turnovers. Oh, great play by Sims, but the whistle blows. Looked like she had a lot of ball there.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that call. Be interesting to see. That was at full pace, though. Transition basketball is the hardest place for referees sometimes. Let's have a look. Yeah, actually, no, I'll give her that. Her arm certainly caught across the right arm, but it's a tough call when you put in so much energy to try and get back into a play.
He's really turning into one of the leaders in this Italy team, makes both free throws. Sims able to get it deep, but just didn't have quite the release on that shot that she needed.
Is that another foul on Sims? That is problematic for Coach Drucker. If it is, it is. And Sims had this in game day one as well. She picked up 2 early fouls. Coach Drucker's going to trust her, though. If I'm Italy right now, I'm going to attack Sims.
Robert trying to guard Keys. She hands it off to Santucci. Oh, she makes it! Potential 4-point play.
That is a big play. Santucci, second triple of the game, and how cool, calm and collected is she? The chase out is there, but it's too much. Santucci earns that trip to the line. That's what Coach Lardo wants to see. That's what he wanted to see yesterday and didn't see it.
Well, the decision to have Santucci in that starting lineup paying dividends. 7 quick points for her, 2 3-pointers, including a 4-point play. Three-point shot is good. Well, if they were trying to get it inside, why not go back to what was your strength was yesterday? Get it to Garzon from behind the arc.
Garzon was one of the brightest sparks.
Oh, it's Spriafico fouled by Garzon. I'm not sure I've ever seen this. 2 consecutive now potential 4-point plays. And it's a point of emphasis that they do not allow them to take away their landing spot. And they felt like there was enough that she had done that.
And the players will have had that communicated to them. They'll have been told exactly how the officials want to referee this game. And, you know, as you said, that's what they're looking for. They don't want to see players undercutting other players when they're in their shooting form, when they're off the floor. It's such a dangerous thing to do. And any hint of that, they're going to call the foul.
2 4-point plays. I have to say, I've never seen it in a row. Like it's kind of awakened Barron for Israel. She goes right back and gets 2 points back for her team.
And you like the vibe from Israel that down one end things might not be working, but they continue to keep going. They continue to push as a team.
Santucci's pass batted. Garzon passes up ahead to Barron. And then Barron fouled by Keys.
Good from Israel. They know if they can get some easy points, transition buckets are gold dust at this level of basketball. So if they can get out and run and try and put Italy on the back foot, that will certainly help them. Italy a good defensive team though, so don't expect too many easy points for Israel.
Makes 1 of 2. They shot pretty well from the free throw line yesterday. Very well, 87%, 87.5%.
Third best in the whole of EuroBasket yesterday. But that was one of the reasons they were able to even stay in the game in the opening stages against Belgium.
Although it took 8 free throws. Here comes the pass. Garzon up to Sims. Barron inside to Robert. Oh, nice. Yeah, absolutely. They're passing it around. Not settling for bad shots, working for the good shots. And Lino Lardo calls timeout.
You look at this replay, and for me, this is great to see, because as a coach, as a fan, you want to see an evolution in your team. And don't get me wrong, 24 hours is a quick time to try and see an evolution, but I see it in front of me. This Israeli team is much more balanced in the way they're approaching today's game. They aren't so overawed maybe with the occasion or the crowd, and it's good to see.
Che anche se c'è zone press possiamo dare la palla avanti, diamola, iniziamo il nostro gioco, che va bene 5 o L, cioè quando c'è un passaggio, diamola, iniziamo transizione, possiamo dare anche passaggio, poi in angolo giochiamo giro con la guardia, ok Ceci? Se prendi palla possiamo giocare anche, se chiavi giro, lo possiamo giocare anche con la guardia, allora occhio! Adesso giochiamo ancora pollici e andiamo avanti, giochiamo a dare pollici e andiamo avanti. Se non c'è niente giochiamo a weak time. Vai, andiamo.
Italy shooting the ball well from outside. Santucci with a couple of threes, including that 4-point play. We didn't get to see the elusive 3 4-point plays in a row, though. We only got to see 2, but yeah, Italy shooting the ball much better today. They only shot 24%. 6 from 25 in game day 1, so this will settle some nerves that they have some offensive threat.
Here's Santucci, played under 7 minutes yesterday. Today she's starting. And Garzon with the rebound. Sims, 2 free throws, awarded a foul called on Andre.
Sims does need to get herself going, and sometimes as a player and your coach will tell you, just make something happen, you know, be a little bit selfish, try and create something for yourself. But for me, maybe a little bit of a step too far. She went into a double, almost treble team, and got bailed out a little bit there by getting the foul call and heading to the line.
There's Drucker.
Coach Drucker was quite philosophical about the game yesterday. He understands how it fits in the bigger picture, the process that Israeli basketball is going to go through to make this team competitive at this level, to in a few maybe tournaments time be there pushing for a medal or the trophy.
And Lassini bumped while hitting a three-pointer. Can you believe it?
And Israel have to learn. They've undercut again. This is 3 times they've been called for the same foul. The officials will have told them, you cannot do this. Look at her go underneath the feet of Xander Lassini. It's such a dangerous play. The officials are right to call it.
Yeah.
This is just an injury waiting to happen, and if I'm the Italian team, I'm asking Coach Drucker, can you please tell your players to stop doing this? It's not good defense, it's not going to help you, and it's only going to hurt us.
Well, the best way to tell them to stop is to keep you making your free throws.
Certainly will help. And I'm sure Xander Lassini will be happy as well after not making any threes in that opening game. To get one away in the first quarter, in the first 5 minutes, will give her a little bit more confidence.
Good hands, Santucci. Great hustle back. Barron, she gets it to Rutberg. She gets it back. She launches, but she stepped out of bounds. It is a legitimate injury situation, and they're right to police it, so to speak. I mean, I remember at the World Cup in 2014, Sergi Gladier was undercut and was lost for the tournament.
Yeah, and you've seen it, you know, multiple times, big names losing months, if not years, out of their careers because of that injury. So the refs are right to call it. Hopefully Israel will stop.
Sandalcini, and then going for the basketball. She kind of swipes at the ball and knocks over Rotberg.
I think it wasn't really the initial attempt. I think it was the fact that Xander Lassini almost left her arm in there to stop the advance of Rotberg. It wasn't her trying to attempt it. It's just the probably the clothesline, the more WWE clothesline to finish the play out that was the problem.
I just think it was the collision.
You do love physical
she wasn't
basketball.
Well, no, she wasn't able to stop. But for having played just yesterday, Xander Lassini seems to be getting around pretty quickly out there. Here's Cohen being pushed out by Andre. Robert, they're going to say before the shot. And one thing you'd say about, okay, now a technical foul has been called on Sharon Drucker.
Yeah, I think it's through frustration that it wasn't given as a continuation play. I think he believed that it was. Look at the passion from Coach Drucker. He needs to be a little bit careful now. Another loose word and he might be heading back to the locker room, which is not what his team needs.
So he wanted the continuation, or he felt like he should have had the basket. I don't necessarily think that's a bad technical for him. The only thing is you're down 7, so in that sense it is. But you're pretty hot because you've given away 3 4-point plays.
Yeah, it's one of those, as the team, they'll kind of like it in a way if you're a player, because it gets you riled, it gets you, kind of that team cohesion comes in on the back, your coach has got your back, he's trying to get, you know, everything he can for you, but just the timing. You know, Israel was starting to mount a little bit of a comeback, things were moving their way a little bit more, and giving away 3 points to Italy is probably not the best piece of advice. Fico did miss the free throw, so they got away with it.
Yeah, they did, and a chance for Israel, who again look, other than their fouls on the three-point shots, they've played pretty well. Santucci with the rebound and the foul.
I think that one's on Barron. I was about to say, I'm enjoying watching Yada Galzon play defense. Lots of plaudits went her way after the first game about her offensive production. But defensively, her footwork is great. She's reading the game well to stay in front of Santucci in that situation, and she was guarding Keys as well, so she can guard across the positions. And yeah, for me, that's a two-way player in the making in Galzon. She could be the superstar for Israel for years to come.
Well, they teach good man-to-man defense in Indiana, that's for sure.
Very true.
Men, women, you name it. Although I'm pretty sure she could play good D before she went there. Here she is, bringing it across midcourt. Tough assignment for her, going up against Xantha Lassini, but probably relishes the opportunity. Cohen bumped, and the former Northwestern star gets to the line.
And again, for me, it's the right call. It's quite a light call if you were to look at it objectively. But if you're going to call any contact in the shooting action, that's what that was. That was contact during the shooting action. It's not while she's on the floor. It's not a little bump on the cutter or on the dribble. It's while she's taking the shot. So any contact the officials are going to call.
Cohen takes her time and makes the first. Big tournament for her, chance to play for Israel. 30 years of age, makes both. Santucci into the corner, Spriafico, it's good. Well, she is definitely a first half three-point shooter. We've seen it in consecutive days. Multiple threes from her.
Yeah, she certainly has shot the ball well.
Here's Cohen. Decides to take it all the way in and ends up getting blocked by Keys. And from the right, shot is no good from Spriafico. Another good three-point shooter, Francesca Pan, has checked into the game for Italy.
Yeah, Israel will certainly have to start chasing the perimeter a lot harder than they have been so far, but controlled, remember. They can't overly chase because they've committed numerous fouls.
Nice passing. Shot doesn't drop for Garzon. Cohen's going to go out, take a seat. And that will open up the door for Zippel. Aiden Zippel to check in, the 20-year-old.
Yeah, Verona into the game for Italy. And I'm really interested to see how Coach Lardo rotates between his point guards today. I don't think at the moment he is set on who his starting point guard who his lead point guard is. He kind of has three equal options at the moment. And maybe he's using these group stages to work out what is the right option for him to start the point.
I thought you and I were both in agreement that that Vila was the best point guard. She just didn't make her shots.
Yeah, in opening game, Italy looked better when she was on the floor. They looked like a better team, particularly offensively, when she was on the floor.
But again, it's just one game.
Yeah, small sample size. Wait to see how she plays in today's game. We haven't seen her yet.
I was about to say, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
What's he waiting for? Rotberg on the baseline, fouled by Verona, who again has had kind of a frustrating start. She's the one player that you would really have expected to have a good start at this EuroBasket after a strong season at Skio.
Yeah, she's had a kind of phenomenal rise to this senior national team, picking up World Cup gold in 2016 in the under-17s and just progressing through that junior program and then breaking through to the senior kind of domestic ranks, as you say, with Skio and the huge campaign, fairy tale campaign they had in EuroLeague Women's this year. And you were I was excited to see, okay, let's see her put this now on the big international stage. And yeah, maybe the nerves got the better of her, just 23 years old. But I think there's plenty more to see from her.
Small sample size.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So that one is good as well.
Cohen's break was very short-lived. She's back in the game straight away.
Kubai is checked in, number 13 for Italy. Here she is with the basketball. She's going up against Garzon. Spins, turns, releases. Garzon battling, but look at Verona. She heard us talking. There, that's the Verona we've been watching all season.
Absolutely, that is why Verona has had so much hype around her. Her ability to disrupt and cause issues for the other team. Leaving two Israeli players on the floor as she gets her first points of the game.
Rutberg, strong with the basketball, leans up, had the shot but missed. Here comes Italy. Pan tried to get to Kubai, nowhere close. Looked like Kubai maybe nudged a little bit, but still probably would not have caught that one. Interesting matchup here.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm surprised Verona wasn't putting more pressure on the ball in that situation. I wouldn't see Galzon as a natural point guard.
Cohen. Oh, the pass, right idea, just thrown behind a little bit. Spriafico doesn't go for it. She wasn't going to get it. And was hoping the call would go their way. Lino Lardo pacing, perhaps a little more hope, but understanding that it's a long game, as he remembers from yesterday, because his team went from being in control to losing.
I also think he knows the longer Israel stay close to Italy, the more stressful this game comes for him and his team.
Oh, another miss. Rotberg and Italy will hold for one shot. Verona. She took it too early. Rotberg has a chance. Gets it off in time, but it's short. So Italy with the upper hand here at the end of the first quarter. They lead at 30-18 over Israel.
And if we were concerned about the Italian offense, I think those concerns have now been slightly put to bed today. They only scored 59 points in the entire game yesterday, 30 points in the first 10 minutes, and there your shooting percentages. You know, they're getting to the free throw line. That's an important part of the process. They're 5 from 9 from outside, including numerous 4-point plays. I'm sure Coach Lardo is happy on the offensive side of things. I imagine that his conversation will be more about the defense. Santucci with the big three. Plenty of big plays from Santucci in that first quarter, and certainly her personally making a play maybe to have a bigger role in the rotation than was indicated in that opening game. She's got 9 points at the end of the first quarter, 2 rebounds, as well as a couple of steals, so she's done a phenomenal job in that first quarter. As for Israel, their leading scorers are Galzon and Baron, both with 5 points. But Italy are more the Italy that I think we expected to see yesterday, a little bit more of an Italian feel to this game.
I mean, we did see some of that yesterday in the first half. Saw a lot better play from them early.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Italian performance yesterday, you have to give a huge amount of credit for what the Czech Republic did. Yeah. I don't think this was a poor Italian team or a bad performance. I think the Czech Republic just came in and imposed themselves on the game and didn't let the Italians settle, didn't let them take control of the game and dictate how the game was going to be played.
So scanning that barcode to get Courtside 1891 in your smartphone. Box stats, you can watch all the games live, international basketball. Just download it from the App Store. Get it in your smartphone. I can see people around this arena right now looking at it. Second game of the day. Earlier, Belgium rolled to another big win over the Czech Republic. Perhaps if they weren't the favorites before this tournament, the only thing I can say is, what were you thinking about if you made that prediction? Because nobody looks even close to being as good as them right now.
And a lot of conversation around this Italian team prior to the tournament wasn't necessarily about the trophy. It was about, can they get into those medal kind of levels? Can they get into the Final Four, the semi-finals, maybe their target? And then it's anyone's game.
Good job, Kubai, getting it down low. Yeah, I think Italy at bare minimum wants to get to the FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournaments, get into that top 6 if France are in that top 6, because obviously they have a spot in the Olympics as the host. That ball goes off the hands of Cohen. Keys doesn't mess around, just goes all the way outside Spriafico. Oh, excellent work from Keys, but then commits to foul.
Yeah, as a player, it's one of those frustrating fouls. You're as far away from your own basket as you can be, and it's more just momentum dragging her into committing that foul. That's going to be her second, so Coach Lardo will make the change.
And he'll bring in the captain, Martina Pestagno.
Kubai and Bastagno on the floor at the same time. Expect maybe a more physical brand of basketball from Italy now, both ways.
Barron off the rim. And Verona, chance to impose herself a little bit.
From Italy, they kind of changed the focus of their offense now because they're playing a little bit more of a bigger 5. They're able to look to move the ball towards that position.
Kubai turns. It would be nice for Lardo to get Kubai going. And that was a little bit of a sloppy play for Israel. Now they trap in the backcourt. Verona able to get out of trouble.
That's a bold move by Israel to trap that far up the floor.
Spriafico.
Pretty good job by Spriafico there, just trying to create her own space, and it's become a bigger part of the game. Every player that can shoot the ball now has to have the ability to create some kind of space, either with a step back, a little bit of a crossover, some form of move to create that separation. Finish wasn't quite there, though.
Martina Fassa's just checked into the game. Fassina, excuse me. Martina Fassina. Well, none of these players can believe anything looking at those shots. Barron stops. Makes the ill-advised pass to Cohen. He wasn't there.
Yeah, there's plenty of court IQ in the front court for Italy. It's tough to make those interior passes. They do understand the passing lanes.
Good job. Good defense from Zippel. And here comes Sims! A little bit of Sims magic.
That's exactly what Sims needed. It looked like she was fouled on the way up the floor at the half. She just kept going. Nothing was going to get in her way. There was only one way that play was going to finish, and it was with Sims going to the bucket. Draws the contact, and there's the raw. That's what it means to her. She's doing all she can for her team.
So Lior Garzon goes out. Sims at the line. Oh boy, Pan wide open over here on the left wing. Verona launches her attempt.
Feel a little bit of a momentum swing maybe towards Israel right now. And they need to capitalize. When they get that level of game, they need to make it pay.
Nice drive and nice dish. That was all Jenny Sims right there.
Yeah, and I think they need to put the ball in her hand. When she gets like this, you can see how pumped she is, how hyped she is. Get the ball in her hands. Make the most of that feeling.
Fasina takes it deep and is blocked by Cohen. And now a little bit of words being exchanged.
I love that.
With Cohen and Fasina.
Cohen trying to get the crowd hyped as well. Cohen just batting that one away. Very disrespectful, but in a good way. Saying, don't think you can bring easy stuff in here. That's going to get dealt with the way it should be. Officials rightfully so, just trying to take a little bit of heat out of the conflict now, just giving it a little bit of time.
Watch what happens.
Love that.
I think she might have gotten her on the left arm as well.
There's the stare down.
It was definitely the stare down was coming from Fasina.
There's no way Cohen was going to back down from that. If there is an enforcer in this Israeli team, you would say it is Cohen. Be interesting to see how Bastagno reacts to that now. Bastagno certainly plays that mother role within the team. She'll stick up for all the rest of her teammates. She takes on a similar role.
Santucci, the ball tapped by Sims, but they couldn't get it. Now Zandalasini comes back in. Santucci drives. Cohen.
And Italy's woes of game one have come back to haunt them. They've only scored 2 points now in the first, well, more than 3.5 minutes of this second quarter. Offensively, they are struggling again.
That was Sims trying to do a little too much.
No real surprise that Coach Lardo's brought Zandalasini back into the game. If you need some offense, that's the most likely place it's going to come from for Italy.
And she provides it.
And all she needs is a little bit of space. At the moment, the Italian offense isn't very well spaced. They need to try and spread the floor a little bit more. One-on-one, Zandalasini is near unstoppable, but if Israel can help across, that makes it tougher.
Zippel to the corner. Barron.
Zandalasini there urging her team to try and put some tempo in the game when they get possession.
Oh, nice cut, back door. Zandalasini comes right off the bench. 2 baskets from her, and normal service has resumed.
And that's super smart from Zandalasini. She's read they're trying to deny her possession. Look how much Barron is overplaying defensively. So what does Zandalasini do? A little jab step out, and then a quick backdoor cut, wide open for the easy score.
We have 0 fouls. 0. Backdoor, another shot, another rebound, and we have 0 fouls. You want to save it to what? To Monday? If we want to do, let's do fouls. I don't understand what is in our system post up here. I don't understand. Let's do pick and roll in motion. To come, screen, you have here, you have here. You have much better shot. This side of this, it's very good and it's much better for us, fit us. This post up is nothing for us. Okay?
And Coach Druka makes a good point. What are we saving our fouls for? Why are we giving a player like Xander Lassini that kind of space? You've got to make her earn her points. Look how easy this is. Where's the foul? There should be some weak side rotation. There should be a big stepping across. Even if you're late and you make contact, that's much better. Let them earn them from the free throw line. You can't give a player like Xander Lassini the chance to get some heat and get some going on the offensive side.
So already surpassing yesterday's total.
For Israel, this for me is an important 5 minutes now. 5:22 left before the half. They want to try and keep it no more than 13 points. Ideally, if they can get it back to single digits, they're more than happy to go in the locker room because it gives them a chance in the second half. If Italy extend this even further, it's a big ask.
Zippel looking good, and it is not.
And that doesn't get the roll.
Front and back of the rim, topped up and hit the front of the rim again. It's a good looking shot though. Now the pass to Keys and goes out of bounds off of her hands.
Keys hasn't had the impact that I think a lot of people were expecting so far, but within this Italian team, I'm still waiting to see what role Keys plays. Usually she's a little bit more of an aggressive physical four, but the Italian team have a lot of that already, so she's almost being asked to be more like a three, which I'm not sure she's overly comfortable with.
Cohen's going to go right at Xander Lassini, pass it back outside, and this didn't look quite as good from Zippel. Santucci, nope.
But that was the pace that Xander Lassini was asking for. She put it into the offense herself, and she knows that Israel's defense, once it's set, is tough to break.
And Bestagno, shooters, bounce, rim, backboard through. Biggest lead of the game, nope, 14 points, yep, it is the biggest. Garçon catches and scores. She's definitely got to get touches, got to run plays for her.
Yeah, for me, offensively, you're going through Sims and Galzon. Every offense, if you can, they've got to be a big part of it because they're the ones that have that creative ability to make something happen on the offensive end. Even if it's not them scoring, it will draw enough defense to facilitate other players.
Lardo wanted to hold. This was Garçon catching it before that. Haven't seen Vila yet. Maybe she's resting up for the second half. Rotberg. Robert.
Yeah, good defensive rotation for Xander Lassini. She just tracked across and helped out. Yeah, the Villa thing is interesting. Before the tournament, Coach Lardo was talking about taking pressure off her. Is this rotation part of that process?
Wow, she's automatic from that distance, from that spot.
And this is the Xander Lassini that will drive Italy into the latter stages of this tournament. If she can play this kind of game every game, then yes, they will be there. They will be in with a shout of making it through to at least the semi-finals.
So in fact, she has the same amount of points that she scored yesterday right now.
And she's begging for the basketball right now, and her teammates are ignoring her. She's frustrated. I've got a hot hand, I'm scoring, I'm finding it easy to find options for myself. Please just put the ball in my hand and I'll get us points.
Facina takes it right away from Barron, who's unfortunately been a little careless with the basketball again. Another chance for Garçon. 16-point deficit. She launches, it's good. What a talent. She's great.
Yeah, this is unreal for me. Galzon has really stepped up. Just 21 years old, playing obviously in college basketball in America, so still so much more development to come, but still able to compete at one of the highest levels in the world right here.
Ma chi ce lo fa fare di andare di fretta? Ma chi ce lo fa fare, cazzo? La partita dietro ci ha insegnato. No, possiamo fare quello che vogliamo, però almeno dare la palla a loro. Ok? Occhio al press adesso, occhio al press. 1, 2, 3, è pronta a venire. Ok? Giochiamo su flash side, va bene? Andiamo, forza! 1, 2, 3.
We can't praise Galzon enough. Here's the backdoor cut, where she found Xana Lassini napping a little bit on that defensive possession. And here's a little step back, and this is what I was talking about, Jasmine Key. She's being asked to play the three. She's being asked to play a lot more perimeter defense than she's used to, and Galzon makes her pay. She identifies the fact that Keys doesn't want to fully commit to her, so she makes sure that she makes her pay fully with that three. But what a talent we have here in Yara Galzon. 10 points already.
2 of 2 from deep.
Yeah, had 13 in yesterday's game. And you kind of look to Coach Druker now. Can he build a team around Galzon as she grows up?
Bounce pass to Bestacano. She gets it to Spriafico. Long rebound to Italy.
And that is why Xana Lassini keeps asking for the ball. She's feeling it. She is absolutely feeling this game right now, and the more they can put the ball in her hands, the better it will be for Italy. They need to trust her.
Back to a 16-point lead. And this time, being fouled on the jump shot is Israel from Santucci. And 3 free throws. So, what comes around goes around.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of karma, right? Yeah, it's the right call. She's gone underneath her. She's made contact with her. Most players, what we're seeing now, the smart ones, is they're almost running past the player rather than going directly at them to try and put them off. If you go directly at them, it's really tough to make sure you stop in time now. Just 24 years old, but I know Coach Druker's leaning on her to try and lead this team a little as well. Maybe a little bit higher level of experience in her club career.
So the 3 points take it back to a 13-point deficit for Israel.
And now we've got the matchup I want to see. Galzon against Xana Lassini.
Uh-oh, the hot hand gets it, and the hot hand delivers.
It's a pretty straightforward offense now for Italy. Give the ball to Xana Lassini. That's all that coach needs to write on the board. Doesn't need to draw any X's and O's or any arrows. Just straightforward, put the ball in Xana Lassini's hands. And just like that, coach takes her out of the game. That's crazy. I don't get that. Oh, maybe on the back of a timeout, but
no, it's a timeout, yeah.
You would just give her as many minutes as you can right now. Try and just close this game out as early as you can on the back of Xana Lassini's hot hand.
All the way there. And we leave her in the end for the shot. I don't know how to unwind here. I don't know. We are playing 5-on-5. I don't know. It's a simple thing. Baseline. 19 seconds. Every game.
Zandalasini's doing it all defensively. There's the weak side rotation from her for the block. Stops on a dime to create that space. Drains the jumper with ease. Zandalasini is absolutely unconscious right now. Autopilot offensively. As Galzon tries to recover. But if I'm Coach Druker, I'm saying just don't help. Don't help away from Zandalasini. The rest of the team, you're going to have to work as a 4. And almost, you'd be tempted to potentially even go, it'd be crazy, but at this stage, what do you do? Go to a box-on-1 maybe, just keep chasing her. You have to try and give her a bit of a heat check. You have to cool her down. Coach Lardo has helped by bringing her to the bench. But I'm sure she'll be back in the second half to try and pour more points in for Italy.
Garzon has to get it right at the end.
That was very close indeed.
Garzon goes behind her back to Cohen. And Kubai came out to guard her.
Now the key for me here is how do Italy play offensively without Zandalasini? Because there's going to be interesting foul from Rockberg, but there's going to be phases in this game where Zandalasini isn't on the floor or has foul troubles or isn't feeling it. Italy need to find some other form of offense because I'm not sure I've really truly seen what that looks like. Is it about going inside and trying to bully your way to the basket? Is it more about cutting and driving? Is it the three-point game? They need to find a plan B outside of Zandalasini.
Santucci, Garzon tried to foul to get away with it. And Lardo's looking at the referee, is like, didn't you see her grab her?
Yeah, even Galzon put her hand up and said, yep, that's a foul, and was surprised when the officials didn't call it. Coach Lardo having a animated conversation right now with one of the officials. Officials saying, you just need to calm down and let us do our job.
Garzon, and Garzon missed the layup.
They're mistakes you cannot afford to make. That's a nice out-of-bounds play. Cohen drawing the defense away with the first cut, but the second cutter has to score. I think the Israeli team at the moment are taking Coach Druker's comments maybe a little bit too literally, saying you don't have many fouls, keep committing fouls. I think he was trying to say use them tactically, don't just try and foul constantly. But 3 seconds left in the half. What can Italy produce?
Oh, good defense from Israel, and Santucci doesn't even get it off in time. So a mountain decline for Israel if they're going to stay in this tournament. Lino Lardo says there was a foul that went missing. Italy nevertheless lead it 47-31 over Israel at halftime.
An interesting first half. I think after the first quarter, Italy would have been very happy pouring 30 points in that first quarter. Their percentages still look pretty good, but they have dropped. They only had 17 points in that second quarter, as Israel's defense certainly picked up. Italy dominating the rebounding situation. From Coach Druker's point of view, though, he'll be happy to see just 7 turnovers in that first half. It's still not great, but a lot better than they were looking in game day 1. There really is only one story coming out of this first half, right?
Xanadu.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. But Italy putting behind their offensive woes of game 1 and playing a lot more free and fluid in game 2, but so much of that is going through Zandalasini's hands. She scored more than a third of their points in this first half. But I also like her attitude. She's confident, she's aggressive, she's demanding the ball, she wants to proactively lead her team. They just need to trust her, they need to lean into it when she's feeling it. And there's the backdoor cut. And from Israel's perspective, they need to overplay her. They need to double on her, they need to switch across, they need to use their fouls against her. That's the only way you're going to slow her down right now.
Israel's hopes effectively of staying in this competition hanging by a thread at halftime with Italy on top, because if Italy win this one, they go to 1-0. They would have the head-to-head over Israel, and then Israel would really need, it would come down to them beating Czech Republic.
Yeah, and that's a big ask. And even if they did, we're then into some serious maths. So from mine and your perspective,
then they would be both of them would be 1 and 2, and then it would depend if Italy were to beat Belgium. Because if Italy did not, then 3 1 and 2 teams.
Unique character. Unique chemistry.
FIBA Basketball World Cup is the peak of the game.
It's the toughest competition in the basketball world to win.
That is why I will be there.
Because when you win for one,
You win for all.
Spanu, nice pump fake. Oh, beautiful pass. Spanu is just pulling the strings. She is the conductor of the orchestra.
Wow. Here in the fourth quarter, how about that? Picks the pocket is Vukoslevjevic, and she goes all the way. And it's going to be an and one.
Messerman, huge amount of advantage against Barron. Belgium with an 8-point lead and really dominating the game right now.
And now another steal. This one from Zandolosini, the Italian defense, coming to the fore. Oh, behind the back pass. Vila to Zandolosini. One of the plays of the game. She's able to get it off. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She will not be denied. Driving to the basket and now has an and one. An exceptional finish. Good D from Italy. Czechoslovakia missing that layup. Here's Spriatico. Snell on the three.
And when Italy are playing at pace, they look so much better. They look so much more confident when they try and slow the game down and get in the half court.
Great defensive effort. President just got over the top. Anderson in transition. It's a real threat. Puts up the floater for two. Took all the contact and still got it to drop. He's got to put it up. And off the glass. They count the three. And at the end of the first quarter, on the back of the last second shot.
Zandolosini's box.
That's a beautiful handle. Stops on a dime, puts the ankle breaker onto Spanarova and finishes it. Sims looks to go down the baseline again. Goes the long way. That's great hands. Quick hands by Manunga. Out in transition behind the back by Van Loo. Rezemon can do everything here in Tel Aviv.
I want to see that on replay because this was razzle dazzle here. Look, fakes, goes behind the back.
Well, Cecilia Zandasalini has been like a shot of espresso for Italy, especially in that second quarter when she caught fire. Look at her, 16 points, 3 or 4 from deep, 3 or 4 inside the arc, and playing like at her best when Italy needed.
Yeah, Zandalasini stepping up. I think she'll have been really purposeful approaching today's game. After yesterday's game, she didn't have a bad game, but she didn't have the level of game that maybe she was expecting or she thinks that she should have brought to the floor. And she's been very purposeful today. There's the 3. That's a beautiful shot as well. I love that one. And yeah, she certainly had the impact that she wanted to. It's just now for Italy to maximize how good she is when she's on the floor.
And no surprise, Garçon is the leading scorer for Israel.
So excited to see how Galzon progresses throughout this tournament. She had a great opening day. I'd say she's having an even better game day too. Putting in big performances, and it's not just one-dimensional. It's not her just bullying away to the basket. She's not just a slasher to the basket. As you see here, she can shoot the ball as well. She's got good form. She can shoot contested shots, and she is tough to guard. Certainly excited to see how she progresses, not just the tournament, but over the coming years as well. She's going to be the mainstay or the backbone of this national team, I imagine, for quite a few years.
Well, there are some similarities with both of these teams. They have spells where they play well, of course, longer spells for Italy when they play well. And Lena Lord will be hoping that they can just kind of sustain it over the course of the 40 minutes.
And that is the key, isn't it? In tournament play particularly, it's about day after day, quarter after quarter, putting in consistently strong performances. There's a reason why Belgium have been so impressive. It's because we've seen 80 minutes now of non-stop basketball being played at a super high level. They've not taken a possession off. They've not had a bad quarter. And that is what will enable you to lift a trophy at the end of a tournament.
Yeah, Belgium have played perfect basketball. And even you could hear their coach saying, let's respect the competition and give our best for 40 minutes.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. I don't know if this is the Brit in me, that you just can't. If I was a Belgian fan, I'd be worried. I'd be like, please don't have a bad quarter when we really need you to have a good quarter. Don't use up all your good quarters in the group stages. Save a little bit of that for later on. But yeah, it's, you know, if you're a Belgian fan now, it was interesting in the press conference as well. One of the journalists asked Coach Meziat, do you have any doubts that you're going to lift the trophy? And it was a really no.
Really?
He said, yeah, he was like, no. He said, as a coach, if I don't believe in my team, who's gonna?
Yeah.
He was like, I believe we are good enough and we are going to lift the trophy. And that's, you know, that's a different mindset. That's a next level mindset.
And it looks like they have that mindset as a team, but we've lived through several years of, for example, Serbia being able to raise their level through tournaments. So even if they're missing now certain key players from the past, are they going to have players that can step up and at least give them a chance to win it and to be a problem for Belgium?
Oh, without a doubt, Belgium are going to have bigger challenges as this tournament progresses. For sure, that's, you know, not even a question. They've still got the challenge of Italy on Sunday, but you just feel that the Belgian team are approaching it in such a work-like fashion. You know, even watching them pre-tournament during their training sessions, they were so focused, they were so locked in, the coaches, the players, they were all in sync, building towards that win. And you just wonder what teams can step in their way. And I suppose that's what other teams are looking to emulate. We saw Zandalasini there. I'm sure she'd love to be on an Italian team that had that mindset. I think at the moment, this Italian team is in that transition of, okay, how do we go to that next level? We are probably at the moment, in most people's minds, a second-tier international team, not quite at the top table, not quite expected to be in the final fours of tournaments. How do we make that progression?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is Italy don't know if they're even going to make it to the quarterfinals. You know, I think for them, fortunately, they're in the same group as Israel, because that gives them that opportunity to get into the qualification for the quarterfinals, and that's when it becomes problematic. Can they win that game to move on? Now, they could implode in the second half and not beat Israel, but I would be surprised if that were to happen.
Yeah, with a 16-point lead at this stage, you would expect them to try and consolidate that lead and push forward. And, you know, ideally, because if we do get into a three-way head-to-head, points difference will matter. And I'm sure Coach Lardo will be talking to his team, look, if we get up by 20, we need to be 30, we need to be 40, we need to push, because you just don't know what's going to come around the corner. When it comes to the quarterfinals or the qualifiers for the quarterfinals, once you're in a one-and-done situation, to a certain degree, all bets are off. If you have a good day and you're you know, maybe an under-par team, you can really cause an upset. That's the exciting thing from Italy's perspective. If they can get into those one-and-done games, they're a bit of a handful of games away from maybe being in the final if they can put those big performances in.
Well, we've seen them come up short time and time again, really, over the years, going all the way back to 2000, for me, 2009. And we'll see if they can get it together. I think the vibe feels better this year for Italy than it did last year, that's for sure. And you have to wonder, when you look at some, you know, the balanced competition at this EuroBasket, if you're going to make that leap, this is the year to do it. At least to get to the podium. We saw Turkey, for example. They've had some real struggles in recent times, but today, really digging in and coming out and getting a 1-point win against Hungary when they could have easily faded right there.
Yeah, Turkey
that might have been
good.
the turning point for them.
And it really steeled them as well. They've got, obviously, injury issues we saw at the back end of that game. Chaka going down with what looked like a pretty bad ankle injury. She certainly looked in a huge amount of pain as she was helped off the floor. They're now basically effectively down to what looks like could be a 10-player squad for the rest of the tournament. But maybe sometimes that adversity really brings a motivation to a team. But yeah, I think there's one or two teams where you'd be like, yeah, they're pretty much destined for the semi-finals the way they've played so far. But the nice thing is, because we've a balanced tournament, that's not guaranteed that that's going to be the case. That the guarantees are going to be there. There are a few spots available for some underdogs to fight through. I know in Ljubljana, Hungary is another one that one of our colleagues is certainly very keen on.
But that's who Turkey beat today, so
could be a spill through, but you just don't know. It's certainly an interesting tournament so far.
Scanning the barcode to get the FIBA Women's EuroBasket app into your smartphone, and you'll have everything you need to follow this tournament. Get it on Google Play or the Apple Store. And now this is when really, I mean, we know the situation for Israel. They got to come out fighting for their lives. But this is also the situation where Italy has to be ruthless. They're on top. They need to put them away.
Yeah, and that's another symbol for me. That's another sign of what level a team is at. You know, you look to, we keep talking about them, but you look at Belgium, they don't stop. They just push for 40 minutes, and they will win by as many as they can win by. There's no complacency, there's no possessions that they take off. They just push and push and push. It's relentless. And to be a top team, you have to be that way. And this is going to be the acid test now for Italy. Are they going to win this game by 16 points, or are they going to win it by 30 to 40 points? If they win it by 30 to 40, it tells us a lot about who they are.
Second half underway in Tel Aviv. Italy had a steal, so Israel catch a break. They'll keep possession. Cohen steps behind the arc, nails the three. She's definitely a good shooting pivot.
Yeah, she really is. She's enables Israel to stretch the floor a little. Didn't see much of it in the first half of this game. We saw plenty in yesterday's game. And that provides a problem for Italy to match up against.
Zandalusini and Keys sets a pick, and the rule was she wasn't set.
Yeah, she's just lent into that screen. I think it's more she's worried about the impact that she's going to get, so she leans into it, and turns as well. Oh, that's a tough one to take, a shoulder to the face. That's Key's third foul, though, so how Coach Lardo deals with that at the moment, he's trusting her to stay on the floor with 3.
And Sims drives in and earns a trip to the line. Leans over to help Santucci up.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Italians think that was a charge. Either Santucci was in the restricted zone or she faded slightly laterally to draw that contact. That's her third foul as well, so early foul problem for Coach Lardo to deal with now. He's not short of very good point guards, though.
You know, it could be that Vila has an injury that we're not aware of, or some type of niggle.
I just have an underlying feeling that Coach Lardo is trying to take some of the attention away from her. He doesn't want the spotlight on her. He doesn't want her to feel the pressure. Because if she turns in big performances early on, the Italian fans will quickly hook onto the fact and pin their hopes on her and maybe Zandalasini to lead them to glory.
Oh, look at Zandalasini. That was just A-star. I'm one of the best players in the world quality.
Yeah, and you look at her body language, you know, people talk about this confidence and arrogance, a thin line between the two. She's standing on that line perfectly right now. Yeah. She knows how good she is, and Italy need to maximize that.
I don't see the arrogance at all in her. If anything, I'd like to see a little bit more, because she's got the potential.
Offense is really static, though. No movement off the ball whatsoever.
She goes again. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
You don't even need to look to see if the ball's gone through the hoop today for Zandalasini. As soon as she lets go, she knows. She knows that that's going down.
Chichi is turning on all cylinders today. Barron.
Good defense by Keys there. Read that play well.
Spreafico on the break. So they had the positive start, but now Israel trailing by 18.
And now the test is for Israel. How do they react? They've come out of the locker room. Coach Druker's had his words, but the effect hasn't been had.
Well, nobody boxes out Olbis Andre.
Coach Druker's going to have to call the timeout because his team have just been mauled in the opening 2.5 minutes of this second half, and the game is not slipping away. I think it's completely flying away from them right now.
We'll go down to the bench.
You take number 9. You take the point guard. Both of you switch. Every time we don't know what we are doing, it's a turnover. Every time. You want to keep doing this, you're doing this. You want to keep doing this, you're doing this. We just turn over the ball. We don't know where else. Listen to her. She said 3. Everybody playing this. We play fist. Listen to the strong side instead of being weak side. Can we play one time side to side, high pick and roll? What we did 1.5 months? One time. That's it. One time.
Look at this. They can't stop her.
No, she is near unstoppable when she plays with this amount of confidence. We didn't see this yesterday, but this is the Zandalasini that Italian fans absolutely love. She's doing it all for them right now, and you see how frustrated that making Coach Druker. And, you know, you can understand his frustrations. Although they don't trail by as many today, he's more frustrated today than he was yesterday because Israel are just not playing any of their basketball. Particularly offensively, they're not putting anything on the floor that he's asked them to do. They're just running their own thing, and that's where his frustration is coming from, because he knows that his team can give more than they've got right now.
Well, even though Alba Turin's got the MVP in 2017, for me, there wasn't a more exciting player at that EuroBasket women than Zandalasini. She's definitely playing even better now than then. Here is Ben right out of the timeout.
And that is exactly what Coach Druker was asking for, a little bit more patience, a little bit of lateral ball movement, create that space, and a nice little step back for the 3.
Well, talk about desperate for a bucket, but can they do anything with number 9? Because otherwise we'll be coming out the next time out watching more highlights of her. Here is Andre. Wow. Give the assist to Chichi.
Imagine if they can find a good big for Zandalasini to partner up to. That 1-2 punch would be really tough to stop.
Here she is, forcing the turnover with the reach. Santucci on the break, get it to Cici Zandalasini!
Unbelievable from Zandalasini. Defense, she's getting in passing lane. She's reading how Israel are playing this game. She knows where people are going to roll, where they're going to cut, and she's making a nuisance of herself. And as soon as that ball's released, she is lightning down the floor to lead the transition.
Sims from downtown. Robert fighting for the basketball, goes out of bounds. Stay at this end.
And here's the pass from Santucci to Zandalasini, and really that play was made at the other end of the floor with Zandalasini just making a nuisance of herself, and yeah, running out of plaudits to give Zandalasini in this game because she's just doing everything right.
Good D again from Keys. A scrap for the basketball. Robert goes for it. Rothberg goes baseline. They whip it around. And then driving in, and Cohen is fouled. And she's able to finish. She takes the foul from Andre.
And I like that from Cohen. That's veteran leadership. That's someone who's reading the emotions and the spirit of her team right now. They're struggling a little bit. So she just says, right, I'm going to find a place that I know I can create from. Not necessarily renowned for the handle, but a couple of strong dribbles to the basket, and she's in contention.
So back to an 18-point deficit. Sims guarding Zandalasini. She's not going to get a touch on this occasion. And they waited too long. Good defense from Israel.
And I really like that. If I'm Israel, deny possession of Zandalasini. Everything. Throw everything at keeping the ball out of her hands and say, fine, we know you can beat us with Zandalasini. How are you going to beat us without her? Okay, we're going to overplay her. We're going to deny her possession. We're going to run her ragged. How can you beat us without her? Because at the moment, just playing straight up, that's not working for Israel.
Well, I think Italy can still get her the ball if they want to. Just let her start the offense. There's Cohen again, driving in. And Jasmine Keys is very vociferous in disagreement on every call. That's number 4. She'll have to take a seat.
Yeah, Jasmine Keys not having the tournament that she wants to have. I think she'd much rather play as the solo big, the solo legitimate front court player on the floor and play with a lot smaller lineup than Coach Lardo is playing with at the moment. But it's not for Italy to change. It's for Keys to find a way to fit into maybe a slightly larger lineup than suits her.
So she's already surpassed her high as well. She's now got 11 points, had 8 against Belgium. Speaking of Cohen. And Sims crashes the boards but couldn't get the basketball. Here, so Zandalasini gets the touch. Now she gets rid of it. See if it goes through her again. She gets the touch. She puts it up. And she is absolutely, well, just call the fire department.
But
what are you waiting on?
I'm not sure what more Israel need to see before they realize they cannot help away from Zandalasini. Sims made a step to help. Don't make that step. Stay true. Just deny possession to Zandalasini.
Santucci knocks it away, goes the other way, gets it back from Martina. Bestagno then misses the layup. Cohen for 3, nope.
And that's smart from Cohen. She got stuck with a mismatch that she really didn't want. There is no way that Cohen wants to be playing perimeter defense against Zandalasini, so the early foul is the smart foul.
Zandalasini, watch how this foul takes place. I know, so this is her shot. It's just true.
It's absolutely beautiful shooting form, and you can just feel the confidence that she has right now.
You don't want to have to guard her, because you know she's putting you on the poster. Now, nice catch by Bestagno, but does not finish. Norberg fouled. And she's injured as well, the way she landed.
And it did not look like a comfortable landing at all. Looks like she's holding a lower back right now. To her feet, thankfully, for Coach Druka.
Watch this. Goes as she drives.
Yeah, Bestagno's not a player you want to come down and land into.
She kind of landed into her hip,
yeah.
But I think Bestagno is arguing that she already had planted her feet there.
Yeah, it looked like it for me. Defensively, what more can you do? She probably could have been square. She could have been front on rather than sideways on that. Often will lead into a foul call because, you know, it looks like you've stepped into that position.
She's trying to walk it off because they need her out there. Rothberg. Okay, well, they haven't gone away yet, Israel, despite the avalanche of points from Zandalasini. Verona gets it across midcourt. Still 13 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game. Verona. And bounces over the backboard and out of bounds. I think Italy have to accept. You'd think that they were losing the way they talk to the referees. I mean, they have to accept there's physicality in the game,
which they initiate an awful lot of.
Yeah,
they're not a non-physical team.
You can't be looking for a foul on every single call. Okay, now that looked a little dirty from Rutberg, actually falling on top of Verona. No reaction from Verona.
But I'm not going to lie, we're obviously, you know, almost halfway through day two. I'm enjoying the physical nature of this tournament. It seems to be
the rumble,
allowed
tumble
to be,
nature.
yeah, a little bit more contact, a little bit more physicality. The officials seem to be calling when the physicality makes an impact on the play.
That was a great move by Robert, but not close to finishing against Zandalasini, the ultimate finisher in this game. And here she goes again.
As soon as she gets the ball, I want the dramatic music to start every time Zandalasini takes possession of the ball.
This game today is it's like Zandalasini's world, and we're just living in it. Spreafico, Drucker wanted the travel. She chases down the loose ball, the long rebound.
Coach Drucker needs to be careful. Already has one technical, and he's right in the ear of the official.
Zandalasini, as if we didn't know. You don't even want to think about taking her out right now.
This is unreal.
She's something about this Israeli teams brings out the best in the shooters of their opponents. We saw it yesterday from Van Loo and Rezon, and right now we're seeing it from Zandalasini, who has now erupted for 27 points, and we've still got 11:40 to go. Here she goes again. She puts it up, and she's fouled shooting the three. And Drucker gives a long look at his player, Robert, for like, what are you thinking about? This is the fourth time that Israel have fouled the three-point shooter.
Yeah, look at that. You can't step out like that.
Oh, wow, so you just let me throw this out there. Mark Mills is like a stats genius.
I do like my numbers.
He is like, Mark, do you want to go out this weekend, do some fishing, maybe take some play some back? No, I'm going to be crunching some stats.
I'm deep in the data.
So tell us what you just discovered.
So yeah, Zant Lassini very close to a record highest ever points total in a EuroBasket women's game for an Italian player is 31. That was Rossi against Belgium back in 1980. So that's a long-standing record that Xander Lassini is now on the brink of breaking.
Well, that's going way back.
Even you weren't commentating back then, Jeff.
Oh, still in high school.
Xander Lassini will head to the bench though, so we'll have to wait as her tally stalls at 29.
Somebody needs to get the message down to Lino that she has to play. What year was it?
1980, I believe.
Okay, just double check it. Here goes Zippel. And Rockberg, nope, here comes Verona now in Italy. They're just taking a firm-like grip on this game. Firm-like, that's not what I'm looking for. A vice-like grip, that's it. Firm-like, what's that? Just lost my concept. Just like the city. Passing it outside the pad. And offensive foul. Bestagno. And Israel turned it over. They don't inbound the basketball. Well, that's when you know it's not going well. Ball intercepted by Robert. Now Sims pulls up and thought she might be trying to bank that in, but it was in between. So Bianca Rossi in 1980 holds the record for 31 against Belgium.
Verona really trying to assert herself in the game. She's had limited minutes today. You might wonder how Coach Lardo's going to deal with that.
Sims misses on the drive at the end. So they're going to need a minor miracle, Israel, to call back this deficit over the final 4 quarters. It is 67-45, Italy on top of Israel. Look at the three-point shooting. Most of that is Angela Sani for Italy. Oh, excuse me, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Xander Lassini's been impressive. Let's jump into the Italian huddle. Hear how they're going to improve even further. But we were talking about it before the start of that third quarter. Will they push on? They've extended their lead by 5. They would have probably wanted to extend it further than this. Points difference may come into play. It may not, but you want to push, and if you've got a player that's going to do it, look how Xander Lassini, just her body language tells you exactly how she's feeling today, how she's approaching the game today, and yeah, phenomenal performance. One of the real highlight performances from all of the games we've seen here so far in Tel Aviv for me.
Maybe she wants to save it for Belgium, in fact, to get the game high, since it was against Belgium that Bianca did it.
Yeah,
31.
It would certainly be poetic, right? I think it's a harder task to get 31 points against Belgium than Israel, though, potentially.
True, definitely.
But if she plays like this, you wouldn't put it against the odds that she could come out with that. Look how she enjoys it as well. And that's something, you know, from a neutral's perspective, you love to see. When great players are enjoying the game, you know you're in for a treat.
Or if you're a fan of Italy.
Very true, very true.
And
I'm sure there's some Italian fans tuning in that are certainly enjoying today more than they did yesterday.
I mean, even Israeli fans have to be appreciating what she's been able to do today. So, scanning the barcode to get courtside 1891 on your smartphone. Yeah, Zandlasini with 4 of 5 from three-point range. She's in the zone. Right now, she's on the bench. Kubai, give it go. Barron follows up the miss and is fouled on the putback attempt.
That could have been nasty. Barron did exactly the right thing. Cover your head. When you've got a big body about to land on you, just try and protect your head. But I like the way Israel continue to approach this game, though, and they were the same against Belgium. They almost try to ignore the scoreboard. They just approach every play as if it's the opening tip and they're just getting into the game. They're aggressive, they're quite direct, they're not fazed or intimidated by the event or by this wonderful crowd that we've had in here again today. Again, for me, biggest crowd of the tournament here in Tel Aviv so far, and they're certainly, I think, showing some great appreciation for this Israeli team, because I think the fans also understand where in the process this team is, and that the team are going to need the fans' support to continue along that journey. Corona calling for the screen to come up. Kubai obliges, and I like some of the patience that Italy is showing now as well.
Nice play, nice shot from Verona. Yeah, much better offensively from them today. Of course, it helps when you have a player like Zandlasini that just takes over. I don't even see Zandlasini over on the bench, do you?
Yes, she sat right down the far end like she's not going to come back up.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Oh, I see her now, yes. She's having a chuckle. That means, you know, everything is going well. So, Italy looking to close things out here. Still got 8.5 minutes to go. A win that will in all likelihood get them to at least the qualification for the quarterfinals. Of course, they would be able to play Belgium tomorrow, and if they were to win that game, or in 2 days, they'd have a chance to top the group.
Yeah, which would be a really interesting situation for Italy to be, based on the vibe coming out of their defeat yesterday, the feeling coming out of their defeat yesterday. If they can,
I don't think it's something that you would completely rule out. I think it would be unlikely just from what we've seen, but
it's a big ask. You know, the way Belgium have played in those opening 2 days, it's a big ask for this Italian team to be able to play at that level. I think Italy, when they're playing to their optimum, can absolutely compete with Belgium and push them, but they'll have to play at that level for 40 minutes, and I'm not sure this Italian team is quite there just yet. They're not able to put that level of performance consistently across the game like Belgium are.
No, I mean, the Czech Republic gave Belgium a decent game for about a half. Maybe a little bit into the third quarter. Then the wheels came off.
I think the one thing I'm looking forward to seeing is how do Belgium deal with Zandlasini, because I don't think Belgium have faced such an offensive threat so far in their opening 2 games.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that as well, and I think they're so good they're not even going to worry about any one player. They're just going to play their good 10 defense. And the drive and the basket is good. Nice play by Rodberg.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about with Israel. As much as the game is slipping away from them, as still 8 minutes to play, they continue to battle. They know what part of the puzzle these games are for their overall growth as a basketball team, as a basketball nation. And, you know, this women's team, they've certainly impressed, you know, from a philosophy, from a way they're approaching the game. You cannot be anything but have admiration for them.
And I think if you want to stress the positives for Israel, it's the young players, especially. There's the pass to Spreafrico. The Garzons. Here is a shot from Pan, no good. Barron, she's one of the veterans at 31, but as well as Cohen, she's also a veteran at 30. I mean, I guess bigs supposedly get better the older they become, so maybe she still has a little bit of run in her.
Yeah, I think you're less reliant, obviously, on your athleticism, and you're more reliant on your IQ and the way you read the game. So, yeah, I think age certainly is...
But Rotberg is 24. You've got Yarding Garzon, who's only 19. You've got Lior Garzon, who's 21. Zippel, only 20. Looks like she's got a nice chance to be a good player. So that's a nice core of young talent. And Spreafrico. I think of all the players happy to come back out today, Spreafrico, one of them for Italy. She knows that she could have played better yesterday in that second half.
Yeah, just 9 points in that second half, and like you say, I think the expectation is for her to carry a little bit more of the lifting on the point side of things, where Italy was struggling yesterday.
Pistagno, that's right. The big, showing she can stroke it.
It's not the prettiest of forms from Pistagno, but let's be honest, it's effective. This isn't textbook, but it gets the job done.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah, absolutely.
So timeout.
First time maybe in your life, they hedge. First of all, before the hedge, you can draw. Okay? Then it's a back dribble, and we just have to pass 4-on-3. Every hedge, they kick our ass. Turnover, and another turnover, and another. And one time, look, she's wide open. Screen and roll, or screen and pop. We have a shot. When are we going? I don't understand. Our offense kill us, and they make advantage time after time after time and get more confident. We go 4 guards and you. Okay? 4 guards. Okay? We go down. Ready. And then you 4. You go, and we space the floor. Try to go penetration kick.
Well, Italy, a team, I think, that can envision itself being in this FIBA EuroBasket, in that second tier.
Yeah,
if they can really get it going.
I think
so. You've got Belgium and then everybody else.
It's starting to feel a bit like that. I think other teams, I think Belgium are unique in the fact that they've hit the ground running. They've hit the tournament in top gear.
But they've got their star players from years gone by as well.
Yeah, it's true. They have consistency and cohesion. We talked about it in commentary. They've had, I think, over 6 players that played at the World Cup. So they know each other. They're used to each other. But I think we're going to see growth from other teams to that level.
Oh, nice job getting it to Cohen and getting the foul on the alley-oop.
What I like from Israel on that offense is how they spread the floor. Coach Drucker said, look, we're going to play 4 out. We're going to run a small ball lineup. We're just going to have Cohen as our one legitimate front court big. And the team reacted well. They spread the floor, and that made it hard for any kind of help defense from Italy. Israel now using this 2-2-1 zone. It's a little bit of pressure, but for me, it's not about stealing the ball. It looks like they're just trying to burn some of the Italian offensive clock.
Spreafico again, and you can understand why Lena Lardo brought her into this team. Took a long time for her to make it into the senior national team, past into her 30s, but the wait was worth it.
Absolutely, 16 points today.
Oh, tough finish from Cohen.
Good finish by Cohen. But for Italy, I said it earlier, when Xander Lessini's on the bench, where does the offense come from? I think Spreafico is trying to say, I'm probably that option. That's where the points will come from when Xander Lessini's taking a seat.
Kubai to Bistagno, outside to Verona. Spreafico again. And Bistagno called for a push.
Oh, we're going to see Xander Lessini come back in the game. Maybe we will see this Italian record being broken. Stagno picking up her 5th foul, heading to the bench.
So maybe we're going to see the record here. So the captain sits down. Good minutes from her today. I think she's in this team for those spurts and also for the leadership that she brings in the locker room.
Italy being able to quickly switch back to looking for Xander Lessini. They do straight away.
But surely she's cooled off by now. She puts it up and fouled by Cohen.
She'll head to the line. Chance to tie the record at the line.
Well, who would want to be a referee? It doesn't matter who you call the foul on.
You're hearing it from both directions, right? One of the reasons I never did my referee or table officials course. I know how people are. I have all the admiration in the world for the officials.
Free throw line is about the only spot where Xander Lessini has not distinguished herself, and it could ultimately cost her the all-time Italy high in EuroBasket women.
She's the 2nd highest scorer at the moment with 29, and she wants that lead. Takes it to 30, just 1 point shy now
of equaling.
Yeah. 1 point shy of equaling and just 1 bucket short away from taking the record.
Oh, look at Andre just knock it away, get it to Verona. And here she goes.
And for me, Andre is one of those unsung heroes for this Italian team. She doesn't get any of the praise or the headlines or any of that, but without her, the machine that is the Italian team just wouldn't operate anywhere near as efficiently.
Panned. Tells Xander Lessini she's going to have to wait. I agree. I mean, I think Andre's really improved this year, and I don't think they really run that much for her.
No, she picks up whatever's left. She just she
gets the scraps.
Yeah, she really does. And if you've got a player that's willing to accept that role and is able to optimize that, then that's a really important piece.
So right at the end of the shot clock. Sharon Drucker's frustrated, results not going his way. Team not playing as well as he had hoped.
Yeah, I think realistically, if he probably never have admitted this, but maybe a loss under 20 points was something that he would have targeted. That would have been a competitive loss.
There you go. She gets those little opportunities, Andre, and takes advantage. Italy had the big first quarter, 30 points. Garçon drives in. That was a little rushed. I don't know if she was trying to get a foul.
Yeah, we saw this in the closing stages as we've seen a replay of Andre getting her latest score. Nice little slip from the screen, just flashes to the basket rather than staying for the screen. But we saw this with Israel. They did kind of lose their way a little bit in the closing stages of the game against Belgium. You just hope they don't do it again here, because for them, this 3 minutes and 41, although maybe the win isn't there, this is 3 minutes and 41 of playing against a very good team where you will learn a lot, and your team will get better as long as you continue to apply and put that effort in for the remainder of this game. If they just let it slip by, it's a missed learning opportunity for them.
So we're not going to see FIBA today, it appears. Zandalicini hits it. Is this going to be it? Word has gotten down to the Israeli bench. They're not going to let her take it.
It's the first time I've seen Zandalicini doubled, which should have been happening almost the entire game.
Garcon drives in and is fouled. So again, you talk about the nucleus of youth. Garcon right at the middle, the most tantalizing of all. You know, right now, she's been playing in America, so the availability is an issue for a lot. In Israel, they need games, and that's the beauty of the qualifiers for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, for the FIBA Women's EuroBasket. You do get the continuity of playing, but if you don't play, you don't get the continuity as a player.
Italy just falling asleep there. They thought it was 2 free throws instead of the one play. And a smart play in the end by Rotberg, who just sneaked in, the smallest player on the floor, grabs the offensive rebound.
So Zandalicini, 30 points. Rotberg trying to increase her tally, which she does. 11 points. What a chance, Sims. And you don't want to have sloppiness creep into your game either if you're Italy.
No, you don't, because that will quickly carry over, and that's exactly why Coach Lardo's called the timeout, because he knows that this complacency will cost them in their next game. And their next game is against Belgium, and that is not a game you can afford any complacency.
So ironically, the last 2:55 could be more important to Italy than it could be to Israel.
Yeah, potentially.
Facciamo una roba. Uno, ok? Franci, non scappare via subito. 2, Cecilia. Adesso viene Valeria qua, ok? Giochiamo con Francesca. Valeria viene e tu vai. Se invece la palla torna a te, giochi con Cecilia oppure con lei, va bene? Ma certo, questa lunga qua va via. Tu sei qua e vieni via, ma ci stai. Sulla stessa
Well, we've been talking about her all day long, and Cecilia Zandalicini has provided us with one of those great games that will always remember the FIBA Women's EuroBasket.
Yeah, the killer smile and the killer jumper, Zandalicini, but you have to give her so much credit because she's done it in so many different ways. This isn't just a barrage of threes or a ton of points from the free throw line. She has pulled Israel apart on every aspect of the game. That, by far and away, my best highlight shot of the game. But yeah, she probably doesn't know it, how close she is to that Italian record. If she did, and if her team did, I think everything would be going through her hands right now.
Andre, I mean, the thing about Zandalicini as well, I'd like to remark on, is she looks healthy, other than that, what looks like a knock on her left shoulder. Chechi, you can see, a little frustrated, didn't get a touch. She's got like it's like she's a floor burn or something on her left shoulder that looks like she's had some blood. She has to look after that. It's just a crazy shot from Barron. Here she goes. Well, the double comes. She gets rid of it to Verona. Give it back. She's open. She takes it, and oh, she was ready to celebrate. And I think she knows. I think somebody's told her.
Oh, that felt like that one was going to go. She's been hitting them all night. Give her any space, and she's nailed the three, but not this time. Verona goes to the bench. Santucci comes in, but yeah, all eyes on Xander Lassini.
If she doesn't know, she got very excited about a play that they ran with the potential of just getting the execution. Trucco, haven't seen much of her. She's at the line.
Yeah, Trucco feels like it's one of those inclusions in the roster, maybe with future tournaments in mind, to give her some experience rather than leaning on her at this stage.
Robert in the paint. She's got to get out of it. She's got to put it up.
Wasn't a bad attempt, really, as Xander Lassini was all over her.
Santucci trapped. She just walked into the, made it even worse by going to the baseline.
Yeah, no, that was a poor decision making by Santucci.
Oh, that's a good, strong, powerful move from Sims. Here's Andolcini, Trucco. She'd probably be more excited about Trucco making something on the baseline. Although I think she was open on the wing. There, she knocks it away. She gets it. Look at this. She passes to Andre. They was zipping around. Oh, you don't want her to get hurt. She falls down. Italy get it back. Oh, gosh. Andre. So I think Cecilia Zandasalini thinks she was tripped, and that's what Lino Lardo is complaining about.
So frustrated. He needs to be careful. He'll quickly get a technical foul. He'll join his counterpart at the other end of the floor in the referee's bad books. Under a minute to play. It doesn't look like Xander Lassini will get this record now.
Garzona get another three.
Have to love how Galzon has played this game. 15 points now, 6 from 9 from the field.
Oh, she gets another chance, and she does it! She does it! She sets the record, we think, for the all-time record points scored for Italy in the FIBA Women's EuroBasket. She goes to 33, breaking Bianca Rossi's record that she set back in 1980 of 31.
A 43-year-old record.
Wow.
That's what you love. Even in these blowout games, it's those moments that really make things special. And that's something, that's a legacy that she'll have for the rest of eternity until someone else can step up and break it. And that's a tough one to break. 33 points now.
She might break it herself in the next couple of games. Timeout.
Giochiamo 3. Allora, facciamo rimessa e giochiamo 3.
She's also got 5 threes.
Facciamo rimessa e giochiamo 3, d'accordo? Perciò un tiro. Perciò Ceci, vai e ritorni, d'accordo? Ok. E tu vieni qua, ok? Quando prendi palla, ritorni in mezzo e Francesca e Ceci rincrociano e giochiamo a pugno basso, ok? Ce la facciamo. Ceci, tu vai e ritorni dalla stessa parte. Tu prendi palla, vieni in mezzo e poi end off con Ceci. Okay? Un tiro.
Well, this is it. The shot that put her in the record books.
And how fitting is it? What a hell of a shot that is. That is a long way outside the three-point line for her to claim a piece of history. Other end of the floor, though, Israel just keep going. You know, I love the spirit that Israel have shown, and that really is the embodiment of how Coach Drucker is approaching this tournament.
Also, it's perhaps fitting, though, that Zandolcini scored that over Garçon.
Yeah, absolutely. The two best players on the floor going toe-to-toe. You have to love that.
to
A little bit
get injured
unnecessary.
here at the end. Israel trying to.
But I'm not sure what that wasn't even a play. That was just an intentional foul. That literally was them trying to send Italy to the free throw line, potentially. I don't see what merit or benefit there is unless they're determined to have another offense. For me, the game is done.
I guess so. They don't want Italy around the clock, so Zandalcini might have to add to her tally. Santucci. And Andre, they're going to hurry. No, that's it. Well, a little rough at the end, perhaps. Unfortunately, but Lino Lardo shakes Sharon Trigger's hand. Italy win it 88-68 behind Cecilia Zandalcini's 33 points. Record. We fully expect, I'm just going to double check it, but we think it's a record for Italy women at a FIBA Women's EuroBasket. I trust you, Mark. I trust you.
Yeah, what a performance. And that's a joy to witness those kind of performances. They're rare, so you have to treasure them when you see them. Giulia Zandalcini, a smile and a well-earned smile as well. You can almost sense a relief, though, from this Italian team. I'm sure they entered this game with a little bit of concern because of that loss on game day one, but some of that pressure has been taken away, and look how Coach Lardo now is with her, with his star player, just giving her some respect. There are your shooting percentages. Italy will be much happier with their offensive production in today's game, winning pretty much every statistical category. Israel, they will take some benefits from it. Only 10 turnovers, though, but there's the big smiles. Zandalcini, 33 points.
Do you think he just told her the news?
Potentially.
Or do you think he said, hurry up, you're in the press conference?
More than likely, more than likely.
So, very important win for Italy as they all but secure their spot in the qualification round, or the for the quarterfinals. Now they will go for first place with a game against Belgium in a couple of days. Never say never. You never know, especially when you have a player like Zandalcini. You can say unlikely all you want to, but there's no such thing as a sure thing. Costagno came in and gave him some good minutes in the second half.
And that's the one thing, you know, I was talking about it. They looked great when Zandalcini was flying, but what else would they offer? And you have to say, you have to be impressed with the likes of Sprefiaco, who stepped in, hit some big shots, really showed us why she's earned her call up into this roster at the age she has. And yeah, Italian fans, Italian players, they'll be a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident now that they will make it out of the group.
So it'll be interesting to hear what Lino Lardo has to say. He pretty much guaranteed that they would play better today after yesterday, and they backed him up, and they took control early. But you know, you remarked on it. Israel doesn't give up; they continue to fight, and you know they've been the big underdogs even at home here.
Yeah, and with basketball, you know, like any other sport, it's clearly a sport of results. But for Israel, yeah, the results are important, but it's how they get to those results that's more important. And, you know, they got blown out game day one, but Coach Drucker had a lot of positives to take from what they'd done in game day one. Today, he got slightly frustrated, but I think when he looks back on some of this game tape, he'll have a sense of satisfaction that on several key areas, his team have taken big steps forward, protecting possession. You know, they had 22 turnovers in game one. They had, I think it was 7 here in game day 2. These are important steps that this Israeli team need to take to become more competitive and ultimately get them close to that win. Well, there's the shot from Zandalcini, the record-breaking shot, taking the Italian record.
Outstanding from Zandalasini. Italy improved to 1-1. Israel fall to 0-2. There are the standings in Group B after game day 2. And it is calls for celebration. The Azzurri win it.